With an increase in the number of reported swine flu cases on the island, we're urging you to take extra precaution. If you or your loved ones are experiencing shortness of breath, dizziness, chest or tummy pains, confusion, vomiting or flu-like symptoms with fever or cough, visit your doctor or the nearest health clinic. And if your test results come back positive for swine flu, prevent its spread to others. Stay home and isolate yourself. Cover your mouth when coughing, disinfect commonly used surfaces such as doorknobs, countertops, and remotes, and be sure to wash your hands regularly. It's another edition of Jamaica Magazine with me, Theodore Henry, as your host. The magazine starts right now.
Don't make diseases spread. Wash your hands with soap and water instead. Wash them regular or use a hand sanitizer. Make sure the germs them dead. Touching your eyes or your mouth or your nose. Wash your hands before you do things like those. After you use the bathroom before preparing food, come on, wash your hand them clean.
Good day, I'm Tamara McHale and this is your GIS News for Monday, March 14. Finance Minister Audley Shaw has signaled that persons earning above $1.5 million will not be left out of government's plan to provide greater equity in income distribution. The administration had previously committed that persons earning up to $1.5 million would not pay income tax in the new fiscal year.
Even as we want to start with those below $1.5 million earning, we know that those just above 1.5 million and onwards to 5 million are also stressed out, and we are going to be dealing with them as well.
Minister Shaw was addressing a special staff meeting at the Finance Ministry last Friday. He asserted that Jamaica needed to take advantage of the macroeconomic improvements and work towards growing the economy. In the meantime, the Finance Ministry is working to wrap up wage negotiations with the remaining 2% of public sector workers in short order. 98% of negotiations for the 2015-2017 contract period has already been completed, and State Minister Rudyard Spencer says he will be addressing other important issues that require serious attention.
I'll be working alongside people in the public service to see if we can nudge things a little faster and to see if we can meet the challenges.
The other state minister in the Finance Ministry, Favour Williams, has meanwhile reiterated the administration's commitment to ensuring that Jamaica meets its obligations with the International Monetary Fund. Jamaica is now fully equipped to conduct local tests for the dengue, chikungunya and Zika viruses. This follows a $10 million upgrade to the University of the West Indies Clinical Virology Laboratory. As part of the upgrade, state-of-the-art real-time thermal equipment was acquired. This machine has the capacity to test 96 samples and controls within 2 hours and is also capable of testing multiple pathogens in one sample. After touring the facility on Friday, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said he was pleased with the improvement.
I witnessed here today that it works well, and in terms of the public, the most important piece of information, the waiting period to determine infection has been significantly reduced, because previously cases had to be sent overseas and the waiting time could be anywhere from a few weeks, I'm told, to a few months.
The virology lab also houses the National Influenza Center for the island. Meanwhile, government's island-wide cleanup campaign to tackle mosquito breeding sites has expanded its reach to Sentan communities. The campaign is dubbed Operation Mosquito Search and Destroy, and the Sentan segment was launched on Saturday at the Ocean Village Shopping Center. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton used the occasion to send a strong message, urging Jamaicans to get involved in protecting their communities from vector-borne diseases. The cleanup campaign started in St. Catherine and will be executed in all 14 parishes over time. Government is exploring the possible creation of a technology innovation fund, which would be pivotal to further boosting Jamaica's technology sector. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology Dr. Andrew Wheatley made the announcement at the opening ceremony for the second staging of Kingston on the weekend.
We will be delivering that fund to enhance and create opportunities for startups and technology-driven investments locally here in Jamaica.
He said government would also be looking to enhance the use of technology in education.
we must integrate education, entrepreneurship, and technology. Animation develops key skills in communication, self-expression, and presentation that can boost our children's capacity.
An increased number of students will be sitting this year's Grade 6 Achievement Test GSAT later this week. The examinations for mathematics and social studies will be held on Thursday, while language arts, communication task, and science will be held on Friday. More than 39,000 students are registered to take the exams this year at 1,090 centers across the island. Female students outnumber their male counterparts. 400 students with special needs are among the total. The Education Ministry is providing special accommodation for these students, including the provision of additional time, prompters, readers, writers, large print, and breaks at intervals. And finally, the Jamaica University College is adjusting its teaching programs to fill gaps identified in the 2015 National Education Inspectorate NEI report. The report assessed about 1,000 primary and secondary schools. It cited weaknesses in leadership and management, student progress, and teaching or learning methods, among other areas. In response, head of the Secondary Education and Professional Studies Department at MICA, Valerie Morgan, says the institution is assessing how teachers apply the curriculum in the classroom. Emphasis is being placed on teachers' professional attitude, data gathering skills, and research and volunteerism engagements, as these all add to the learning experience for students.
And so, by exposing our students to some of these areas, they become better rounded to serve as teachers.
Ms. Morgan was addressing a recent think tank held at the JIS's Halfway Tree Road headquarters. She said MICA was also ensuring that teachers held the requisite skills that the NEI addresses and that they were rounded and well-trained in every area of the education sector. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thanks for watching.
Owners and operators of public passenger vehicles and commercial carriers. Expiration date for road licenses and commercial carriers is March 31. Apply now to avoid prosecution.
The focus of my government will be inclusive economic growth, job creation, sustainable debt reduction, and improving the general well-being of Jamaicans.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness as he opened Parliament last Thursday. That plus other stories in Jamaica House Weekly next.
Commitment to frugal and transparent running of government. Administration focused on inclusive growth and meaningful job creation. And Prime Minister pays tribute to women on International Women's Day. This is Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Simone Wolfe. At the start of last week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness named his 18-member cabinet, which will oversee 14 ministries. At the swearing-in ceremony held at King's House, Mr. Holness urged ministers to carry out their duties with the highest level of integrity, as corruption would not be tolerated.
While ministers are not required to be subject specialists, they are expected to display very quickly a grasp of the subject area, articulate solutions, lead, and inspire confidence. I am confident that the persons chosen will do all these things and more.
Prime Minister Holness also reiterated his government's commitment to fiscal prudence.
It requires a mature political outlook and the building of public trust. Trust that as a government, we will be frugal with the public's affairs. And that this takes precedence over our own personal desire for status.
Speaking of economic growth and meaningful job creation, Mr. Holness announced the merger of the Agriculture and Industry and Commerce Ministries to unlock growth through integration. He also announced the creation of a ministry responsible for economic growth and job creation in the office of the Prime Minister. That ministry, the Prime Minister said, would be central to the coordinating and logistics planning of the growth agenda.
But more importantly, the political imprimatur of the office of the Prime Minister on getting our projects approved and getting the growth agenda advanced, accelerated, and implemented.
On Thursday, Parliament was opened for the new term. Senators and members of Parliament took the oath of office during the first sitting of the upper and lower houses. In his address to the legislature, Prime Minister Holness announced that his administration had already begun several growth initiatives.
Already we have started the process of fast-tracking investment projects that are only being held up by decisions. We have started work with the support of the IMF on our proposed reforms to the tax system to ensure that when they are implemented, they mutually reinforce the twin targets of growth and fiscal balance.
Mr. Holness said work was also underway to address challenges in the healthcare system and the potential threats of epidemic diseases. And as he reiterated his intent to put Jamaica first, Prime Minister Holness urged parliamentarians to keep their promises, make themselves accessible to their constituents, as well as be good role models.
Let us all endeavor to provide this leadership together in a partnership for prosperity. Let us endeavor to be sober, respectful, forward-thinking, and mature as elected representatives of the people of Jamaica. I offer myself to the people of Jamaica, and I extend my hand in partnership with the opposition. And to each and every member in the House, let us put Jamaica first and work together to build our great nation.
Sustainable development was the catchword when the minister responsible for the Land, Environment and Climate Change Division of the Office of the Prime Minister met with staff on Friday. Minister Vaz pledged to give the division the priority it deserves as government forms partnerships for economic growth and job creation.
But what I want to do is to turn the red tape into red carpet while observing all of the rules, regulations, and policies that will guide me. So I look forward to working with all of you. My policy is that of an open door policy. I don't get caught in the trappings of power, because that is something that comes and goes.
While committing himself to be on time for all engagements, Minister Vaz urged the staff to be results-oriented.
I'm going to ask each and every one of you to think and use the mentality of how can we get things done rather than why it cannot work.
And on International Women's Day, Prime Minister Holness issued a statement acknowledging the invaluable contributions of women to the development of society. In his message, Mr. Holness used a recent ILO study which places Jamaica first among countries with the highest number of females in top management positions to express confidence in the 4 female cabinet ministers, the Attorney General and other female members of Parliament. Prime Minister Holness also called on Jamaicans to partner with government for gender parity. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time as we recap the top stories in the office of the Prime Minister from the past week.
It's time for us to get it right.
Equal rights and justice.
For our men and women.
Equality.
Last week, we joined the world in celebrating International Women's Day, observed under the theme Planet 50-50 by 2030. Step it up for gender equality. We're building on that theme by showcasing some of the outstanding Jamaican women who have contributed significantly to life on the island. Our series starts with women who've left an indelible mark on politics and the public service.
Jamaican women have been making their mark in all facets of life on the island, including politics. Most noted among them, Portia Simpson Miller, who became Jamaica's first female prime minister in March 2006. A month before, Mrs. Simpson Miller became the first female president of the People's National Party. In 2007, she lost the general election, becoming the first female leader of the opposition. By 2011, Mrs. Simpson Miller again made history, becoming the first female to be elected head of government twice. And in 2016, Mrs. Simpson Miller made history once more, becoming the first female leader of the opposition to hold that title twice. A long-serving parliamentarian, Mrs. Simpson Miller was first elected to represent Southwest St. Andrew in Parliament in 1976. Other Jamaican women paved the way for Portia Simpson Miller. In 1944, Iris Collins became the first woman elected member of Parliament in Jamaica. Iris King served as the first female mayor of Kingston between 1958 and 1959. Another leading woman was Rose Leon, who became the first female cabinet minister in the 1953 Jamaica Labour Party administration. Mrs. Leon served as Minister of Health and Social Welfare. Madame Rose Leon, as she was called, again made history in 1972 when she served the People's National Party government as local government minister, the only Jamaican to serve as minister in two governments. Other female political firsts include Violet Nielsen, who served as Speaker of the House of Representatives between 1997 and 2003. There is also Syringa Marshall Burnett, the first female president of the Senate. Mrs. Marshall Burnett served from 1995 to 2007. The public service is another area of Jamaican life where women have shown their dominance. In 2007, Zayla McCalla became the island's first female Chief Justice. The head of the Supreme Court has had an extensive legal career in the public service beginning in 1976. Another legal first came on March 4, 2008, when Paula Llewellyn became the first woman to be appointed Director of Public Prosecutions. On January 16, 2015, Arlene Harrison Henry became the first woman in Jamaica to be appointed Public Defender. The constabulary force also has pioneering women in its ranks. In 1977, Superintendent Ione Ramsey Nelson became the first female motorcycle police. She bettered that first when she became the first woman to pass the rank of corporal in the traffic division, and later the first to head the division in the corporate area. On May 1, 2003, Javine Bent became the island's first female deputy commissioner of police. A pioneer in the force, DCP Bent was the first woman assistant commissioner in charge of training and first female area commander. In the civil service, Carmen Campbell Belton was the first woman permanent secretary. In 1975, Carmen Paris became the first female Jamaican ambassador. She served in France. And in April 2008, Pamela Monroe Ellis became the island's first female auditor general. Jamaica's women, leading the charge to develop nation status by the year 2030.
Join us next time when we'll bring you women who've been blazing a trail in the field of sport.
Now is the time. Listen to my rhyme. Now is the time.
Kerry, you finished dusting? Soon finish, Mommy.
Now is the time. Listen to my rhyme.
Go and set the table. Dinner is almost ready. Mommy, tell Stephen to help to know.
Mommy, I'm tired.
All right, baby. Mommy, you're always asking me to do all the work.
What's the problem?
But it's your responsibility to do these things. You're a girl. Go and give your brother his dinner. What?
Donna, if you don't stop this, you will train up Stephen to be lazy and irresponsible. If you want him to grow up to respect women and to carry out his responsibilities, you should ensure that he starts to practice now by doing his work in the home too.
As we continue our focus on women, we have another feature aimed at giving some much needed information on a disease that disproportionately affects them.
Breast cancer, the most common cancer among women. In fact, 25% of female cancer patients have breast cancer, making it one of the leading causes of cancer deaths among women of all races. According to radiologists, a mammogram is currently the most efficient screening method to detect this deadly disease. Dr. Derea Cornwall is a consultant radiologist at the University Hospital of the West Indies.
When we do screening mammograms, this is done on patients who have no symptoms or signs of any breast pathology at all. Mammogram can be done on women who have breast problems also. Like sometimes a woman may have a symptom of a breast lump or any other abnormality in the breast. And once they are above the age of 40, we will do a mammogram on them in the first instance to screen the rest of the breast to make sure there isn't any pathology in the rest of the breast away from the area that the patient has the symptom or the lump.
Dr. Cornwall says, however, that women over 40 should not sit and wait to feel something in their breast before getting screened.
You do not need a doctor request to do a mammogram. A woman can take it upon herself to get up, go to the X-ray facility, book the mammogram, go in and have it done. In Jamaica, we advise women to do their mammogram once per year.
But while yearly mammograms are not recommended for women in their 20s and 30s, there are women who have an increased risk of breast cancer. Certain factors may predispose some women to the disease. Factors like family history.
For example, if a woman has 2 first-degree relatives, for example, a sister, a daughter, a mother, a first-degree relative in that close circle, who had been diagnosed with breast cancer before the age of 50, that woman should start doing her mammogram 10 years earlier than the age at which her relatives were diagnosed.
They should try to wear a 2-piece outfit to make it easier for the top to be removed when we're doing the mammogram, because the patient has to be naked from the neck down to the waist for us to get the breast properly. We ask them also not to put any powder or lotions on the breast, nor to use any deodorant that has a white residue, because it will simulate calcifications in the breast. No jewelry that is going to be hanging in the body part.
The results of your mammogram can be given to you either by the radiologist at the completion of the mammogram or the doctor who ordered the screening. They will tell you whether the mammogram is normal or not. If there is what's called a spot on your mammogram, that's considered abnormal. But don't panic.
An abnormal mammogram report does not necessarily mean that the patient has breast cancer. The mammogram is simply an X-ray of the breast. If there is any mass in the breast that is there at the time that the mammogram is done, or any lesion in the breast, then the mammogram will show it. Now, this can be something benign like a fibroadenoma. It can be something malignant like cancer.
Although mammograms are recommended and effective, women shy away from doing one because the procedure is sometimes uncomfortable. Dr. Cornwall says the benefits far outweigh the discomfort.
I could tell you that the pain from a mammogram is much less than the pain from breast cancer when it is detected, especially if it is detected late. So we will encourage all women to do mammogram. Mammogram is the only imaging modality that can pick up cancer at the earliest possible stage.
For further information on breast cancer and mammograms, contact the nearest health center or the Jamaica Cancer Society, 16 Lady Musgrave Road, Kingston 5. Telephone 927-4265 or 927-3317.
Stand up and get in the race.
I can become the master of my destiny.
Step up your stride, make we work like a harder. Do it like Veronica, bolt and a supper.
We can rise above the challenges and shine.
Was with passion in your heart. Make a plan and stop all the hyping. You think I saw? We reach a the aging. I can, you can. Like our Olympians, every
On June 25, 2012, Jamaican sprinter Noveline Williams-Mills was diagnosed with breast cancer. In that same year, she finished 5th in the 400 meters at the London Olympics and won a bronze medal in the 4x400 meter relays. At 31 years old, this young woman is a 5-time world champion and 3-time Olympic medalist representing brand Jamaica proudly. She was brave enough to do a double mastectomy, removing both her breasts to lessen her chances of getting the disease again. In recent times, Williams-Mills is bravely speaking out to stress that early detection is what saved her life and to educate people that breast cancer is no respecter of age, fitness, or talent. More important, she wants people to know breast cancer can be beaten. We salute Noveline Williams-Mills and all our breast cancer survivors. Keep fighting.
It's a new beginning.
New day is dawning. It's time to arise. We have the gene of achievement and pride.
A bold new beginning. Time for action. We have the spirit to fight on. This is Jamaica. This is our land. We have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica. This is our land.
Let us make every effort to forge unity. And resolve to work hard for our prosperity.
Leaving our children a legacy of hope. Breaking the shackles and smashing the yoke.
This is Jamaica. This is our land.
This is our
We have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica. This
Let me hear the children say.
This is Jamaica. This is our land. We have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica. Come on, everybody, let's sing. This is Jamaica. This is our land. We have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica. This is our land.
Jamaica, together we can.
And that's our show. Keep in touch with us, won't you? Email us, jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. Feel free to join us on our social media platforms. There's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We also have an information-packed website, jis.gov.jm, so be sure to visit us sometime. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. Thank you for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.